Human Services Family Caseworker. Listen in for insights and detailed information on core topics such as the disciplining of the child, the integral involvement of men, and the empowerment of women in the family, parenting and associated laws, child and drug abuse, domestic violence, and teenage pregnancy. Call in to air your views and make your contributions on 459-7885 or 459-7888. Family Matters on 88.5 Sufre FM.
Imagine that it's 11 minutes after 11, boy. Make a wish. Yeah. Blessings. More blessings and blessings. Of course, again, folks, it's a Tuesday morning, so welcome to another edition of Family Matters. With me here this morning, we have Miss Body Met. All right? Of course, she was down and out. She was under the weather. But hey, looks like she made a full recovery. She's back. Yes. Good morning. Welcome back inside.
Good morning, everyone, and my apologies for being out. Of course, I was under the weather, as our host did say. Okay, and this morning I'm going to talk about domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why you chose that topic this morning?
Well, especially that tomorrow, God's willing, is International Women's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and a lot of women are in relationships where they are being abused. Okay, there is domestic violence in the family. Yes. So I wanted to touch base on this.
You know, men too are victims as well.
Men as well. Men as well. Yes. Okay. It's not most times it's the ladies, and most times the ladies would come forward to report. But again, our system, because
stigma attached to that too.
Yes, when a man comes to the police station and says, "Look, my woman beat me," yes, they've been laughed at.
You know, speaking of which, there's two officers. I should call on them to join that show.
You should. You should. Yes. So they are being laughed at. So you find, and even here in St. Lucia, we don't really have anywhere for men. We do not have a men's shelter. And I attended a workshop recently, and we actually did mention that, and we were asking, but why isn't there a shelter for men? And one of the coordinators, she said that they were actually trying to form or develop a center for the men, but what do you know, the men were not showing up. So they actually had to forget it. But she said now they are really trying to get one going again
because of society, or even fellas believe they're macho.
Yes, but now I think more men are coming forward. Men are coming forward because I think again this education, you sensitize the public as to what is happening, where can you go, who can you call, because many people do not know where to turn. Yes,
because persons always want resources that's available to them.
Exactly.
Because when you're a victim, who feels it knows it.
And also that I think especially the men, they want it to remain anonymous. They do not want to be out there in the public's eye, especially if the stigma attached to. Yes. So if they could have gone somewhere that people don't know, but I'm going to get help, it would really help. So yes, that. Okay. So domestic violence in relation to a person means, and I say person, I did not say women, person,
yes.
Men and women, means an action which harms, injures, or endangers health, safety, life, limb, part of your body, or well-being, whether mental or physical. Okay, and mental, yes, where we have physical abuse, we have verbal abuse, psychological abuse, which is the same mental abuse, okay, which comes with the mental abuse, and this includes threats of physical abuse, threats of sexual abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, coercion, molestation, where the parties do not share the same residence, arbitrary deprivation of liberty, forced confinement, economic abuse, intimidation, harassment, stalking or cyber stalking, damage to, destruction or deprivation of property, or entry into the applicant's residence without consent. Okay? I have listed and I'm explaining.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good.
Go ahead.
So with domestic violence, of course, physically,
Mhm.
one would be hitting the other. They would have to have some altercation. They would have to have some physical altercation going on,
Mhm.
right? And before I continue, domestic violence is now a criminal offense in the act. Okay, it has been made a criminal offense because we now have an updated Domestic Violence Act of 2022. So it is now a criminal offense. I did not get the information beforehand to ask how much you were fined or
Mhm.
jailed,
Mhm.
but it is a criminal offense. So if it is reported, whoever is doing it, the perpetrator, will be arrested. Okay, and domestic violence, the police deals with that, where, for example, the two of us are in a relationship and you are battering me. I report you, the police has to arrest you because I've made a complaint. I've said that, hey, there's evidence,
Mhm.
okay, that you are abusing me. We human services deal with the children in that situation.
Okay.
Okay, so if there are children
Involved.
involved in that home where there's domestic violence, we human services now have to ensure that the children are being taken care of, that the children, of course, because if domestic violence is being done in the home and the children experience it, to some extent they are being also abused. Okay, um, domestic violence has a devastating impact on children and young people
For the rest of the
that
life.
can last into adulthood, rest of their lives. Domestic abuse services offer specialist emotional and practical support for children and young people affected by domestic abuse. And what we do most times, we offer counseling. Of course, we have to do a lot of counseling. And if this home is proven unsafe for the children, we may even have to remove them because of course, there have been reports where mommy and daddy are fighting and the children are caught in the crossfire. Okay.
You made mention of being removed. What if the victim? Okay, what I'm trying to ask. What is your remove? Up for adoption, a parent, a guardian, a family member.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Not adoption, definitely not,
Okay,
because that would be for the up to the mom.
Okay.
But removal, even the mom as well,
Mhm.
because we have had situations where women and children have to be removed. Okay, and also the children, where okay, we look at the family
Mhm.
because we try hard as social workers to not detach children from their
Parent,
family.
yes.
So we look at family first. We find a safe place with the family, okay, with another family while everything settles down and
True.
so on. And if we cannot, of course, we have caregivers, which is temporarily
So that child will be out of that house. That home.
out of that environment.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. But unfortunately for us, we have very limited
Yes.
resources. Very limited.
So when you try to give a safe haven,
Mhm.
the resources are
So we work. It's
minimal.
like do more with less.
Okay.
Our motto.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
do more with less. So it is tough, but we try our best because a child's safety is paramount. This is what we lament. This is what we do. This is what we practice.
But in times like this,
Yes.
especially when crimes like that get reported, what about a restraining order?
Yes, a lady can, but she has to go in to
When you say go
apply for it. Sorry. To get a restraining order, you
Mhm.
have to go to family courts, okay,
Oh,
and
wow.
go through the magistrates,
Wow,
through family court
okay.
to get a restraining order, okay.
Mhm.
So when you get a restraining order, there will be evidence, of
Mhm.
course, to see why do you want that restraining order from this person,
Mhm.
and also it goes through a process. You cannot just go to the police and say,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, I want a restraining order." No, you have to go to family court.
There's persons that locked on right now. They're listening. They're hearing. Of course, they too. They were victim of circumstances.
Mhm.
I want to ask you a question. Why do victims sometimes return or stay with the abusers?
Okay, abuse is psychological first.
Uh-huh.
They play on your mental status. I will tell you what. Okay, you're in a relationship with a girl. The first thing you're going to do, abusers learn the person. They learn the person.
Inside
They
out.
find your
Weakness.
weakness and they
Okay.
work on that. Okay? So if you know that, okay, I don't have family support, you're going to give me all the support I need. You're going to bend backward for me. So when you hit me, when you beat me, you know that I don't have that support. I have to come back to you. I have to lean on you because you're giving me that support. Sometimes you don't want to bite the hand that feeds
you.
us.
Right.
Right? So you find that an abuser plays on you psychologically first before they actually do it physically. So they know they have you wrapped around their finger. So you will come back. It has been said that the women like what they're getting. No, it is not that they like what they're getting.
I'll be honest. Stick to your thought there. You know, I've heard women say, if the fella don't beat them, they don't love her.
Well, again, I would say it's psychological. Because I don't think anybody in their right mind would make that statement.
Yeah.
And another thing I wanted to touch base on, as you said this, do you know? Well, that's my opinion.
Let's hear it.
That do you know? I think our culture has something to do with it as well. Okay, our culture. People say that we blame slavery for a lot of things, and yes, okay. If you go back to slavery, where a man is the head of the house and he beats the woman and the woman has to stay there and so on. And it brings back to our culture. I think this is why, again, they're trying to eliminate corporal punishment. Okay? Because I remembered a friend of mine was telling me when she introduced her boyfriend to her father, okay? And she told her father, please warn him, do not raise his hand on me. And the father told the guy, well, you know what? You can give her a slap. Like jokingly, you can give her a slap because she's rude. Because it's like, that's nothing. And do you know that he actually went on to hit her?
Wow.
Yes. So our culture to some extent has something to do with it, because it's almost like I think back in the days it was normalized where men beat women. Okay? Because they wanted to have this control. They wanted to let the women know that I am the man of the house. I am the control. So don't speak too loud. You're disrespecting me, so you deserve a slap. And it was okay. It was quite okay. But now, as I said, with more education, with sensitizing the public on what's right and wrong, people are now realizing, look, this is wrong. Okay? This is really wrong. We cannot be hitting, adults cannot be hitting adults.
Now,
and not even children you're supposed to be hitting right now.
Now, I like that. Again, children, adults. How does domestic violence affect a child's feelings about his or her parent?
Okay. Sometimes a child may even go and blame themselves for domestic violence.
But why?
Because, all right, for example, mommy would tell the child, you know, daddy has a bad temper, don't do that, right? Daddy has a bad temper. So you'd find a woman who would do her best to protect her children because, of course, daddy has a bad temper, or daddy drinks and comes home drunk and stay out of daddy's way. You know daddy is drunk. So, for example, this child knows that. And that particular day, maybe the child forgot the toy, okay, on the floor. And it wasn't for the toy that the rumble started. But she will think, okay, because I left the toy there, daddy beat mommy because it was my fault.
Right.
Or maybe I said something, it was my fault. So a lot of the time, the children tend to blame themselves for what is happening in the home, when it is truth and in fact not their fault. Okay?
Let me ask you, so do children who witness domestic violence be aggressors themselves?
Yes, most times. And if studies has shown that most times children of domestic violence become abusers themselves. Okay, any abuse.
Not the other way around in terms of me, I try to avoid that.
No, most of the time, if you read it up, studies have shown most children from domestic violence relationships, they turn out, especially the boys, they turn out to be the abusers themselves. And most times the girls now are victims themselves of domestic violence.
So
it's a vicious cycle.
Especially at school, does that affect the behavior?
I would think it would make you very aggressive. Two things that abuse does to a child: make the child become very aggressive or make the child very quiet, go into their shell. Okay, either you go into your shell, you cry, you don't eat, you become withdrawn, and so on. There's a sign that something is happening, or you become very aggressive. Okay, you pass it out on somebody else. Okay, you'll become very aggressive.
For real, for
So
real.
yes, these are the signs.
I want to ask you another question. Is it possible that the abusers change?
Change.
Yeah, change like
I would
See,
think
you
that
were
they
reaching
can,
somebody.
but I would think that they can, but with help. I don't think that somebody could just sit there and say, okay, I'm going to change that behavior. Because, of course, I am thinking that that has to do with some issue, like you have some mental disorder. Okay? Yes. So it can change if you get therapy, if you get help. Just like you an alcoholic, right? I rebuke this. Just say
That came out like
that's how I corrected it.
okay.
My apologies. But I'm just saying that
yes.
okay, God forbid
Yeah.
that you're an alcoholic and you just not wake up the next day and say, you know what,
I go call out.
I stopped drinking. Okay, I stopped drinking. It is a disorder, and we have to take it for what it is, a disorder. And our society makes it very difficult for things like domestic violence, alcohol abuse, and all, to not to stop, but maybe even to limit it. Because of our culture, it's like it's accepted, it's acceptable, these behaviors, right? Me say "Ka boy warm," just kidding, me say "boy warmly," and people tend to believe that, you know what, you can just wake up tomorrow and change. It doesn't always. Maybe one in a million,
yeah.
but it doesn't
It's rare.
always happen. Very rare, very rare. Okay, so this is what.
We have
Yes.
adults, right? As children, who knows, experience domestic violence. Is it likely for them to change? You made mention of help. I know you didn't make mention of help, but as children, they've never they receive no kind of help. They grow into adulthood. That same thing. Is there a time or a stage in their life they can actually change? Do you think that's possible?
Okay, I have not totally understood what you're asking, and I'm going to break it down.
Okay.
A child who has been a victim or witness to domestic violence, you're asking,
Growing up into adulthood?
yes, growing up into adulthood, is it like almost mandatory that they become an abuser, or if they become that abuser, can they change at a point? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like treatment, like at that stage, like being an adult, because you never received as a child.
Yes. Yes.
Is this possible?
It is possible. I always believe that change happens, right?
Okay.
Yes. So as an adult, you realize at some point that, of course, you will realize that you're hurting your partner, that something is not right, that I'm trying to change, because it happens. And the people who actually do it, sometimes they break down, and it's not because they're pretending or making you feel sorry for them. Sometimes it's actually because that they're feeling sorry for what is happening, but they cannot help themselves. They cannot help themselves. So it's like, I cannot stop myself from doing what I am doing. I know it's wrong, but I cannot stop myself. So you do need help. You do need to go in for help. And that was why I brought up the point of alcoholism. There is turning points where you go into this program to detox your body of all that alcohol or drug abuse and so on. And of course, get help. But with that, you too have to change your pattern of living.
You too have to realize you need the help.
But with every help,
acceptance,
you now have to admit that I have a problem.
Yes.
You now have to say, I need help. I cannot just take you and say, look, go over there. If you don't want to do it, it's not going to happen. Yes, right. Exactly. This is exactly what I'm saying. So I'm going to speak a bit of Creole.
Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
So Sanadi, I see. We simply see Munkakwe usab nomla say Metkaila. Eksa pa nan piyes problem pou ou bay madame lan souffle lo pali bali fo ki pali ba ou viye. Ou kay bayan souffle because se who ki nom kay la. Sa pa bon because abwezan sa madame lan sa report ou ebe misi ya sa report ou. Ek le yo report ou police kaya we tou. police kay fait rapport against you et puis ou kay aide pour l'argent les béni pour payer l'argent moi ça c'est l'argent ou kay point et even c'est maman là kay la ka veiller qui ça ka fait là et maman c'est un monde yo la kon sponge tout ça yo way yo kay fait okay you can repeat behaviors you can we ça ka fait là et puis you can dire okay si mon miek dali ka fait ben bon na ya l'école na pété jolti maman ça tout because you are right pour faire na way home moi. So you can only call that if you can find men behaviors you can quite okay, you can grow up, you actually girlfriend, you be boyfriend, you can petit comme on too because c'est ça motivé that il can fait that is a role model moi so c'est ça na fait. So let nous ka fait bagay nous ni pour consider qui manière il can affect family nous not just nous but also c'est mon nous qui a dit de nous okay so nous ni pour be careful of qui ça ka affect. All right? Et puis, moi vle nom sav, especially nom. Moi vle yo sav that femme ka feel, femme ni feelings. Because shy nom ka believe, like, you ka behave. Ma ka di the nom a di the même situation, hein? Most times, but most times say femme. You ka believe, like, femme pa ka feel. That, okay, for example, un homme ni girlfriend ni. Mr. Erland who slap passe qui dit girlfriend na hello yo parler nom la ka feel jaloux okay il ka feel jaloux il ka lever fâché hein qui man yo ka pa ou ka dit Erland hello autant long but table la reversed et puis Mr. Erland now ka passe girlfriend you on l'autre madame il do bodi ti madame la hello ti madame la regri parler tout bagay madame la lever fâché c'est pas rien just jamais ek souhaiti madame la parle trop fort il ka pour coup because pe la pas dit ça moi qui nom là okay moi c'est nom là ou pas ça parler
especially when they're the breadwinner too.
Yes, so this is what I'm saying, that some men act like women do not have feelings or they disregard the women's feelings. Okay, because I am the man and the macho, and again I come back to society. When a man is running around, what do society call him?
Mr. Casanova player.
Macho man and this and that and sparrow.
Gallus.
What do they call the women?
German.
We don't even want to go there. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm telling you. Because domestic violence proves from all that, right? Because a man wants his woman home untouched. Nobody looks at this is forbidden fruit. But you now, the man, you're out there, and it goes both ways. But I lament on the men because, to me, based on my research, based on everything, I'm seeing that it happens more often with the male because, again, with society accepts it, that they can go out there, do whatever it is they want, and it's okay. But no, it is not. All right, and especially when there are children in the home. They are witnessing all that. And most times children model behavior.
They do emulate.
Okay? They model the behavior. Because if daddy is going to do that, if, for example, you see a child playing with her doll, you know, most times she imitates everything mommy does. The way mommy tell her, stay there to comb your head. Put your head there. Yeah. They will do everything. They will do it. Either the teacher or the mommy. They do. So we now have to be careful when we do that. Okay?
True.
Yes. Any questions for me so far?
Go ahead.
Okay, good. So, we were talking about I want to lament a bit on economic abuse. Okay? Economic abuse means the avoidance of financial obligations owed to a person, including a child or dependent of the person. Now, part of we're talking about domestic violence. You're still on that, and remember, I mentioned economic abuse earlier, and of course, we can use that part of control. That if you don't do this, you are not going to get that. All right, or I am not going to give you that, so you have to stay there. Okay, I am going to withhold this from you because I'm not getting my way with you, or instead of you bringing the money home to pay the bills, to do whatever because you're the sole breadwinner, what do? You go to the cabaret. You go and show. That's what, big and large. Come for a drink, everybody. And home is suffering. Okay? Child cannot go to school because there's no money. Some fathers, again, neglect their responsibilities, do not assist mommy. Okay? And what does that cause? What do you think that causes? When
drama.
not only that, for the child, you have your 15-year-old going to secondary school. She doesn't have breakfast. She goes to school without breakfast. She doesn't have a proper shoe. She doesn't have socks. What is going to happen? And you, daddy, you're there. Mommy's trying her best. She has a little job. She have other children. What is the child going to do? Tell me.
Stay at home. Be on the
Stay at
street,
home.
you know,
Turn to other means and so on.
Yes.
So we have to be mindful of that. Both boys and girls.
And of course,
We have to be
like you
mindful of
mentioned,
that.
and they go to school, you're robbing them of the education as well.
Of course. Because there have been situations where a child would tell me that I had to drop out of school to help mommy because mommy could not. There are other siblings. I had to babysit, and not only babysit, but at least try to get a job to help finance the home. Where is daddy? What is daddy's responsibility?
You run away from it.
Too many times, and this is abuse, and this is what we're talking about. Economic abuse. It is abuse, right?
And I'll be honest, yesterday, you have that on point. Yesterday, I'm at that particular place, and we there were three men, and then this young lady, she's like pouring out, like in terms of like her child's father is not contributing nothing. The guy has a job, the guy is good, the guy shows off like you made mention of his vehicles and all that, but he refused to pay or to contribute. Let me use the word contribute to his child's well-being. And that's bad, man.
It's terrible. It is terrible.
And when you see, and there's enough, and women actually, you see, this as much as somebody can take. You understand? Somebody will take until they can't take it again. And right now, persons actually go to Facebook.
I was just going to give you that example.
Put that on social media, because sometimes persons do portray as if, they're the best there is, But where?
Yes.
Their heart is as dark as the midnight sky.
I remembered when I was growing up, I was dating a doctor. We broke up. And then I started dating somebody of a lesser status. Somebody made that comment to me. Why would you leave a doctor and go to somebody of a lower status? Let me tell you, status has nothing to do with it. Because people tend to believe that the more educated you are, the higher status in society, you're a better person. That is not true. That is not true. Because there's everybody in all walks of life. There are people who will not be good fathers, who will not be good mothers. The people you least expect to not be good fathers, they are. Okay?
Definitely.
You will see this man, and it hurts my heart that, we don't have, our laws are so rigid. Okay? Our laws are so rigid that it does not give enough space for some fathers. Okay? That some fathers really suffer because of our rigid laws, where the mother has full custody of her child, unless deemed otherwise by a magistrate, or if they are married. And because of that, some mothers really prevent the fathers from seeing the child or take total advantage of it. And you see, these are the fathers who are trying. These are the fathers who do not have the big jobs, and and they try. They give the child whatever the child needs, But those who can't afford it, it really pains me that some men can afford it and they just refuse to take care of their children. That they don't care. Mother, make miracles. Okay? Perform miracles. But I am not going to do that. Again, we're talking about economic abuse. Your obligations. Fathers are obligated to take care of their children.
Right.
You assisted me in making this child. So why now not assist with the responsibilities of this child? Okay?
Touché.
So,
folks, if you want to make a contribution, remember you can call us at 459-7885. All right? 459-7885 or 730-5388. Send us a voice note. You can call us on WhatsApp or direct. 730-5388. And not my phone. Okay? Yeah, it's not connected to the system. So yeah, just a heads up.
Yes. And just a reminder that persons who are victims of domestic violence, of abuse, all right, you can call the 24-hour hotline 202. Someone is there to help you, whatever time it is, whatever day, and it is a free call. It is a free call. So you pick up your phone and you call 202, somebody will assist you. All right, do not be afraid. Don't think that I'm a man and they laugh at me. No, they will not laugh at you. They will assist you. And you, the man, okay? I've spoken about ladies. I'm going on men now. You, the man, you are being affected. You are suffering. Is it more of your safety and your well-being, or is it more of how society looks at you,
right,
or sees you?
right.
Madame Muka batu, tetu ka pete, ou pa ka hen manje, ou ni blakay,
Ou pa lave.
Oui.
Ou ka me la, ka la
Anye pa ka fet. Et puis ou ka weste la. Ou ka weste la because si ou ale report sa, police la kay ou. Okay? Mr. Isaac kay ou ka pase kay ou. So kisa, so même si yo oui kisa, ashe help by call. All right? Sorti en situation sa la ashe help. E comment te ka di pli bonne ya? I pat eze pou ou leve pa call. Et puis sorti en di den. Because de la ou wize moun ende ou wize ende pou sorti en situation. So ashe ende ya. Ashe moun pou help pou ende ou sorti en situation. Okay? So help la pou ni femme ni nom. So ale hen ni. I pa maka, même si Jean oui ou. De la Jean ka ou e ki même ka pou pli kou
Oui.
hein. I ka pou pli kou. E ki ka oui ou.
It's not a laughing matter,
So-
but you know, just
Yes.
it's just the thought,
Yes.
you know.
So sometimes people will laugh, but they themselves are going through a worse situation than
True.
you.
True.
Okay, so we need to stop, and something that plagues us. We need to stop thinking about what will that person say and how that person will see me, and what will that person do. Is it about the person or is it about you?
Let me ask you a question: is there a link between, of course, in regards to we're talking about
Domestic.
domestic violence, in regards to suicidal thoughts, and of course, depression?
Of course.
Talk to me about that.
Definitely.
Talk to me about that.
So I am in a domestic abuse relationship. Okay, I have tried to leave. As I said to you before, it's a psychological thing. Every time I leave, where do I go? My family, yes, they will support you. People get tired of people. They will support you for a few days, and they start telling you you're not working and so on. Go back. So of course you go back to your breadwinner most of the time. Okay, and you really see it is a bad situation because every time you go there, you are not working. Okay, this is the person who supports you. This is the person who's there for you. This is your all. You go back and you're seeing that situation, you really cannot take it. Your poor child is there seeing you with a black eye all the time. You cannot go out of your house out of shame. What is going to start happening? You want to stay indoors. You want to hide yourself away. You start not eating. Because, of course, when you're affected psychologically, mentally, you start, you know what? I think death is right now what will get me out of
Take
it.
you out of that.
Take me out of that. You're not sleeping properly because you're thinking of ways to get out. You're not eating. That depression comes on. From depression, you know what? I am going to take my life. And definitely it happens. Okay, definitely. You start thinking about that. Women and the men. The same thing with men. They will start thinking, you know what? My friends are laughing at me. The police doesn't take me seriously. So you know what? Grandma's own time. Okay? And it's very serious.
Yeah, check our statistics. A lot has happened. And person say, itela to the mafsak if I face is later down the line. Then you get to know the amount of abuse
Yes.
this man has been.
And just to see, and a lot of people, and I hate to hear people say, what happens in your home stays in your home. To some extent, it is ridiculous because if you are being abused at home, why keep it a secret? Like I always say, you buy me flowers, it's okay to put it on Facebook. It's okay to tell my friends. You kick me, why isn't it okay to tell my friends? I am not going to hide for you. I am not. And that hiding thing needs to stop. And this is what's bringing about all the problems, hiding, covering up. This is our family matters. No. As long as I start being abused, I start suffering, it no longer is a family matter. Okay, I need help. Exactly. lay body, bon, lay pas bon as well. Okay, so do not stay in these relationships. And another thing that keeps us, I will say us, all of us. Okay, I give Ellen a chance today. He'll get better tomorrow. He will get better because you know what? After the abuse, you get roses and you get chocolates, and of course, you're rewarded and you're taken out, and then things are nice. Back to the honeymoon stage, okay? And you stay in it, and he did that. He's sorry. He'll not do it again. All right, and a week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed. You see what I told you? Alan is the best
Yes,
boyfriend.
yeah.
The 4th week, what does
Zero.
Alan do? Black eye. Okay, black eye. And you know, he gives you the black eye. And the night he's robbing you, huh? He will rub you down. Baby, I am sorry. But if you did not do that, I would not do it. Stop blaming people for your behaviors. Accept it. Because both men and women don't say, I did that because you caused me to do that.
Right. Because of you that make me do that.
Yes, you made me do it. Did anybody hold a gun to your head and make you do what you're doing? No. You have your own thoughts.
You have a conscience.
Okay? You have a conscience, you have control, you have your own thoughts. People should not be making you do stuff. Okay? Because, for example, would a man like a woman to say, you caused me to cheat?
Yeah.
Okay? You caused me to do that. You caused me. They will not hear that. Just like a man should not be telling a woman, you caused me to hit you. You caused me to do that. It's not right.
Control
okay?
yourself.
We all have control. We all should know what is right and wrong. Nobody is perfect. We understand that. Okay? But you should not be hurting each other.
I want to ask you a question. What are the early warning signs in a potential abuser?
The way you speak. You listen to how the person speaks. Okay? Listen to how the person speaks. Their ideas, their opinions. All right? On certain matters. Engage in conversation as much as possible. Speak on every matter. Just throw things out there.
Just speaking in the body language, language as well.
Body language, how they express something. For example, you having a topic with somebody you just met and say, okay, for example, if you were to get your girlfriend cheating, what would you do? Oh yes, he will tell you. He may say, well, I'll forgive her, whatever, but listen to what he said. It's not sometimes what he said, is how you say it. Okay? So I would think that communication, engage in conversations, the way people speak, the way they bring themselves around, their whole demeanor, everything would tell you that this person, yes. And even sometimes, like, another thing they say, drunk men tell no tales.
That's true.
Drunk men tell no tales. Yeah, somebody who is under the influence of alcohol, look at their behavior. Look at what they say, how they behave, how they react.
That's true, no?
That tells you a lot about this person. A lot about this person. Because to me, alcohol brings out your demons. Okay? It brings out who you are. Some people who are drunk, they will laugh and talk too much. Okay? They're not violent. They would laugh, talk too much, say silly things and be all crazy.
Picks off.
All right? Somebody who's drunk and get very violent. Okay? Hyper and violent and destructive. Alcohol works on your demons. If talking too much is what you suffer with, it will bring it out. Okay? It would enhance whatever it is that you're suffering with. Yes. So we have to pay attention. We cannot just and what we do a lot sometimes when we get into a relationship, we tend to ignore signs. We give a benefit of a doubt. We call that benefit of a doubt.
Because you spoke about of course, the way somebody speak, the body language. What else? What else? Because again, we're talking about signs and the red flags and persons actually neglected, or you know what? See them by the hand deaf. Yeah.
For example, okay, you just met with somebody, right? You have your friends. The person met your friends. Look at how they react with your friends. Look at how they react when you do certain things.
That is it.
For example, okay, y'all are walking and a person of the opposite sex stops you. Okay? Look at how they would react. The look they would give, what they will say. Okay? All that would tell you what kind of
come
person
on to
this
Margie
person
behind me.
is. Okay? Yes. So sometimes they may not react in front of the
Yeah, person,
person,
but yeah.
but when the person leaves, what was that about?
Yeah.
Who was this? Why was the person hugging you? I'm not too comfortable with this.
That's
All that would tell you.
That.
And I'm speaking very calmly.
true.
I'm speaking very
Mhm.
calmly, but
Mhm.
listen to what I'm saying.
Mhm.
What was that about?
Yeah.
Who was this? I'm not too comfortable with the person hugging you. Nobody should be hugging you but me.
Hey.
Yes. So again, I'm telling you, you out with your friends. See how they behave, how they react with your friends. You are out at a bar, for example, and at a setting, your friends come. Sometimes they would go and isolate themselves somewhere
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, I'm just not a people person and whatever." But they're sitting and observing everything that is
Going on.
happening.
Mhm.
Okay, they won't engage in conversation. They will not, they pull themselves out. Or sometimes they come, they sit, they engage in conversation, listening again to everything
on?
that is
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be on your P's and Q's and observe, because it's not one thing, because everybody is different.
True. True.
Okay,
True.
so there are different ways to pick up
Mhm.
on a lot of things, what people see, their views and so on. You pick that up. And when you tend to say, okay, especially at the beginning of a relationship, they will say, okay, I give him a benefit of a doubt.
Mhm.
For example, an abuser, physical abuser, he maybe, okay, he gets really upset at you
Mhm.
and says, okay, body language,
Mhm.
he turns, intending to hit you, but makes it seem as an accident. Okay?
Mhm.
Turn their body because they're upset and happen to hit you. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. Okay, you didn't mean to. All right. Let us see how that goes. Oh, he didn't mean to. And then you let it pass. Okay? Rest assured, most times it happens again. Rest assured, most times, especially if, okay, it was just an apology, you let it pass. Okay, rest assured, most times it happens again. Okay?
Miss, what do you mean? I want to ask.
Mhm.
Can abuse be prevented?
Prevented, I would say no, to some extent. Yes and no. If again, like we were saying, that we are looking at signs, okay,
Mhm.
when you are getting with somebody, you see different signs, and of course you have to ask about this person, find out who this person is. And like you said, maybe people change, but let us go. We find out, we see the signs and all. If you see the red flags, yet you went into it, okay, if you see
okay.
the red flags, you can say, me, that is not for me. I am not getting
True.
myself in
Yeah,
that.
for you.
That is not for me.
Yeah.
That is preventing
Unhealthy.
it.
That's gonna be healthy for you.
Yes, that is preventing it. All the signs are there. Everything is clear. You say, look, that is not for me. Okay? You are preventing it.
No, I like that. While we as adults, we should have that same mindset towards our children too. Discipline our children because of the
Nip it.
relationship, the kind of
Nip it
relationship
in
in
the
the bud,
bud.
right? Because sometimes as children, who knows, we are discipline you, we don't enlighten you, on behalf in regards to that, you end up getting yourself in that kind of relationship with that abuser, and then all fall down.
Always tell your children what is acceptable
True.
and what is not, because sometimes even you as an adult, you do something. Okay, I pride myself in apologizing to my children. I pride myself in that.
And I don't believe anybody is too grown to apologize, especially when you know what
I
you did
will
was wrong.
I will apologize, because sometimes you do things out of anger, you
True.
say things out of anger,
Mhm.
and then you go back and apologize and tell your child, look, this is wrong and you should not accept that behavior from anybody. Let them know.
Miss Bodimit are not only children. Significant others should learn how to apologize. You in a relationship, you with your madam, you with your man,
Mhm.
the same way you did something out of anger, you said something out of anger, hey, I apologize. Don't believe that you're too grown of an adult to apologize to your girlfriend or boyfriend when you know you're wrong. And of course, persons that do say that you're wrong. When you're wrong, you're wrong.
And don't apologize with buts. That is
You,
not an
you understand?
apology.
Don't say, but you not get me vexed. It's because
No
of
buts.
No. Hey, I was
When you
wrong for what I...
apologize, you apologize. Don't with buts.
You understand?
Anytime but comes into it, that is not an apology.
I
It is
agree.
not an apology.
I agree.
I am sorry. I am sorry.
Yes.
Do not bring the but in it.
Saying sorry doesn't make you be small or belittle you.
Exactly. Okay? You are wrong, you are wrong. Learn to apologize and mean it.
Yeah, minutes.
Not just say you're sorry because of trying to get your way. Mean it. Don't do it again. Don't repeat the behavior. You're apologizing because you notice that is not a good behavior. So don't repeat it. Yes. So
My goodness.
our children learn from what we do. We as adults have to set the example for our children. Okay? And like I'm saying, that does not mean, another point, that does not mean when somebody is okay, let me rephrase that because next thing somebody takes me wrong. Somebody who loves you will not hurt you. Okay? Somebody who loves you will not hurt you. Yet, some people may have a twisted version of love and still say, I love this person, yet I am abusing this person. Now, if in your twisted way, you love this person and you are hurting this person, you do not hurt somebody you love. So get help to stop the behavior. Get help to stop the behavior because the behavior continues. You do not love. Okay? That is not love. That is infatuation. That is obsession. That is whatever it is other than love.
Because love is a lovely thing.
Okay? Love is being kind. All right?
That unconditional feeling.
Kind. You have to be kind. You have to be a bit tolerant,
Right.
compassionate, okay? Empathetic. All right? You have to you have to like treat the person as you would want to be treated. If you would want somebody to make breakfast for you on a morning, do it for the other person because you know how you would like to be treated. Okay?
Yeah.
Of course, you know what you how you love yourself. So love somebody else the same way. This is love. Treating somebody as you would like to be treated. Okay? If you like somebody to always wash your clothes and iron your clothes and do stuff, do the same to the other person. Help the other person. Treat the person well.
And we are talking about only about the relationship. Why is that? As you highlighting them points there, even as your friend, family members as well. Treat persons like you don't want to be treated.
Of course.
You understand? Whether you on the block, at school, at work, on the bus, courteous, excuse me, or something, be good to people the same way, treat people the same way
you would want to be treated. Because yes, all of us have our way of showing or expressing love, but just as you would want to, because some people fail to realize if I take a pin and I prick you, you will say ouch, it will hurt, it will bleed. If you do me the same thing, it will happen to me. So don't believe that if somebody pricks me with a pin, it will bleed and it will hurt. But if I take that pin and I do to somebody else, it won't hurt, that person won't feel anything. No. It will hurt both of us.
Right.
So this is why I'm saying give out what you would like.
Right.
Okay, give out what you would like. So you don't want somebody hitting you. You don't want your skin to burn. You don't want people to shout at you. Why do it to somebody else? Why? Okay.
Why? That's what we're asking this morning. Why?
Exactly. Why? So just don't do it. Treat people as you would like to be treated. So this is my thought for today.
Right.
Okay. Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. And he was not talking about, when he said that, he was not talking about the person who lives next door to you. Okay, he's not talking about that. He's talking about your brothers and your sisters, everybody. Love people as yourself. And God did not say by loving people as yourself means to let people take advantage of you.
True.
No, that is
True.
not what they were talking about.
True.
Okay, they were talking about treat people as you would like to be treated. All right. Yes. So
again, it's 12 o'clock in Super St. Lucia. Alison Carrera, lovely, lovely show, man. I love this one. Honestly, I love. Very informative. Very forthright, boy. Big up. No, big up to you, Mrs. Waterman. Big up to you. I love the show.
Yes.
All right. Again, I want to thank you for making the extra effort to be here. Of course, to come disseminate this information. Because, there's a lot of persons on the outside, they needed to hear that. You know? The persons need to be inspired by those kind of topics on the morning. because it might not be me, it might not be you, but somebody out there is a victim of circumstances.
Yes, indeed.
You understand? So again, I want to thank you. I want to shout out to all you guys in Facebook, Radioland, listening, and a lot of what was being mentioned. I need a lot of us to acknowledge. All right. So just don't just listen to the radio. Oh, that was a nice radio show. No,
Put it into practice. Put it into practice.
that is it.
Don't tell me
That
you
is
know.
it.
Practice it.
That is it.
Practice. Put it into practice.
All right.
And of course, ladies, tomorrow is International Women's
Yes.
Day.
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
Treat yourselves. Happy Women's Day
Mhm.
to all women out there. Okay, and do something to treat yourself.
Mhm.
Okay, it's all about you. Go out there, treat yourself. Husbands, treat your wives. Boyfriends, treat your girlfriends.
Mhm.
Mommies, treat your children, treat your mommies, because it's so much.
Granny,
Okay.
nieces,
Yes,
sisters,
everybody.
all females,
So,
all ladies.
Yes, happy International
International.
Women's Day.
Hey, with that being said, we out of it. So till